In this video, we will introduce 3ds Max. We saw in the previous video how we can download it and install it. And now we're going to see some really basic information about the interface. So it's just going to be, again, an introductory video. In the course, we're going to talk about all the different tools, the most important tools. So we first going to start with few lessons, which are going to be for basic commands. And for those of you who really don't know 3ds Max and they're starting right now their learning path, so we're gonna go through all the basics and how to start to work with 3ds Max, how to navigate, how to use the basic tools, and then we will move on to more complex topics. So we're gonna do everything step by step, and don't worry if you don't know anything here about the interface, about 3ds Max in general. We're gonna see everything here. So first thing, we have this welcome screen the first time we open up 3ds Max, but these are really helpful. This is actually what we're gonna do here. We're gonna just explain a little bit how the interface works and what are the main areas of the interface. But you can always use this panel as well to review if you don't remember. So we'll see how it's how the layout is, and again, where are the most important things that you need to focus on and that you need to remember when you start. Also here, these are the navigation tools. So you can the scroll wheel, you can use the scroll wheel of your mouse, the middle mouse button. And so again, you can check this welcome screen anytime. I'm just gonna close it. And by the way, if you want, you can also change language here. These are the available language, but for this video course, we're gonna use English language. And I also want to deactivate here so that this doesn't show up every time that I open up 3ds Max. So this is the interface, and in the middle here we have the views, which we're gonna use to work. And we have this left panel, which is an outliner or a scene explorer, where we will find all our objects displayed when we create something. So we will move in these views here, which are 3 2D views and 1 perspective view. We're also gonna see how we can manage these views to work better, and so how to manage basically how we're gonna visualize our project, which is gonna be an architectural project or interior design project, industrial design, whatever. So you can move into the viewports by clicking inside with the left mouse, and you can move and use all the 4 different views. The project is going to stay the same. It's just going to be visualized in 4 different views. On the right side, we have the creation panel. So this is where we can create standard primitives. Now we're going to start with really standard objects, and you're going to see that it's really easy to create objects in 3ds Max. And here also you have other elements like lights or cameras or more complex things like forces, and well, you will find everything you can create basically here: 3D, 2D, technical drawings, 3D solids. And also you have other tabs which are for other purposes like modifying. And the first one here with the plus icon is going to be the create panel. It's going to be the most important at the beginning. Then you have the modify and so on. Now on the top we have these drop-down menus. We're going to start with the basic ones, which are the first 3 or 4 there. Well, actually 5, including the views. But then you can move on to creation, modify, and animation, and so on. So classic drop-down menus. Now one of the important things about this is that you find also the shortcut keys next to the command. So I suggest you remember the most important shortcut keys. Now we can access the preferences from there. We also have undo, redo, Ctrl-Z, Ctrl-Epsilon here in the edit. And we have some transform tools like move, rotate, scale. And again, the shortcut keys are on the right. So we're going to focus on the most important shortcut keys. So the most you can remember, the better will be for you to save time. And we're going to see also a lot of different selection methods in the next video. Now we're just going to introduce again the main areas. And again, we have also other tools that are not visible. that you can open up when you need it, but we're gonna stay here at the moment in the main interface. So after that, we have these views. We can manage the views again from this views panel or with the views menus we're gonna see later. And well, mostly the most of the time you're gonna be in this viewports here working on your project. And we can create models also from here, and these are all the different elements that we can create, not only solids but also other stuff, and we can then modify them. And we have also, again, everything by topic. Now we have also a toolbar there with a lot of tools and also some extra panels to access extra tools. And we're gonna see some of these tools like for polygonal modeling or to select and paint, populate. And so we're gonna see little by little everything that it's really important here in the interface. So polygonal modeling is what 3ds Max is based on, and you also have other software like Rhinoceros, which is for NURBS modeling. You also have some NURBS modeling tool in 3ds Max, but mainly we will do polygonal modeling in 3ds Max. So if you're interested in other software, you can search for in the channel. You will find Videocourse in Cinema 4D, Maya, Blender, SketchUp. These are similar to 3ds Max, but 3ds Max is probably the most popular and most complex, the one that has more tools, and so I think it's one of my favorite. Now we can see also here the difference between NURBS and polygons, but again, we're gonna get to this later on. We're just gonna do a generic introduction here of the software and of the interface. Now we can do renders in 3ds Max. We have a Arnold renderer at the moment. This is the one that it's set up by default, but we can also install plugins like V-Ray or Corona. And again, you will find in the channel video courses about those render engine, and you can also write comments, ask questions to have more information, to have more help. And so again, we have some other menus here for scripting and for using other software like Substance or Civil View and so on. So, and that's also there's also a menu here for Arnold, which was a plugin, but now is the default render engine in 3ds Max. That's your account right there, and you can also change the workspace if you want. You can experiment with these different workspaces. You can also customize your workspace, but I'm gonna keep it the default. I'm gonna keep it simple so that we are all on the same page and you can follow from the beginning without actually understanding or how to change and how to customize. But you can customize the interface if you want. Later on, perhaps when you are more expert, you can do that. So I'm gonna stick with the default. I'm gonna use all the default things here. So in order not to get you confused. So you can arrange a little bit the size of this panel and of the viewport. Down there on the bottom, you have the timeline, which is another part of the interface concerning animation mainly. So this is not a ruler, these are not centimeters, these are frames, and here you can animate your scene and the objects in your scene. Also there you have some x, epsilon, z values to transform objects. You have absolute, local values. You also have player there and keys for animation. And on the bottom right, you have some navigation tools that are really important at the beginning when you need to navigate your scene. So first of all, we're gonna address all these really basic and important part of the interface, like navigation, selection. And this one here, really at the bottom right, this is to maximize and minimize. This is also really helpful. Sometimes you will start with this big perspective here, but working just with the perspective is not suggested. It's usually better to work in 4 views so that you can actually see the project from many different angles. And also here we have some navigation tools like zoom and orbit and pan, which are the main tools. And again, with the scroll wheel of your mouse, you can access those. Alt and scroll wheel, press scroll wheel to orbit. Again, these are really important. I'm just gonna repeat it in the next video because you need to, first of all, understand how to navigate, how to manage the view in order to work properly. So go there and exercise at the beginning with this navigation tool. The faster you are in the navigation, the better your work is gonna be and gonna save a lot of time. And then you have like transformation tools there on the top, move, rotate, scale, and the snaps. You have materials, you have rendering, everything is gonna be here in the interface, in the toolbar at the top or in the panels on the right. So you can see there are many different icons that right now can be overwhelming because you don't really know what they are for, but we're gonna see those later. Also, there are some additional panels that are hidden at the moment, like this one here, the curve editor. This is for animation, to create more complex animation. And you have other managing tools here. This one here is for materials. You can manage the material from this material editor. So there are some extra stuff hidden here and there. We're gonna see it later. And this is the rendering, by the way. So if you want to run a rendering, you can do it there. And also you will find other menus and other tools in there. So this is the interface, pretty much. We have other things there, but there are things that are less important. We're gonna focus more on the most important things. We're gonna see also how to customize a few things, not so many, because I like to keep the interface and the course to standard. Also, if you right click, you can access the toolbar, so you can decide if you want to deactivate or activate extra toolbars. For example, this one here is from Corona Renderer. So when you need to use a plugin, this is for rendering, by the way. And again, you will find courses in the channel for Corona and V-Ray and other render engine for 3ds Max and also for other courses. Now you can see that if I click and drag this around, this can be docked into the interface. So you can create and customize your interface by right-clicking. You can add or delete toolbars. But again, at the moment, I suggest you don't do anything like this. Just do simple things, especially if you are a beginner. Now we also have some extra menus here on the view. So each view has its own menu, its own settings. And again, we're gonna focus on those in a specific lesson because these are really important. We'll find a lot of really important stuff in there that you need to know. And also this is a Viewcube, which is another element of the interface for navigation. You can see it's you can find it also in AutoCAD or in Revit. So a lot of Autodesk products share similar tools. And so this is gonna be it for this quick introduction. We're gonna focus in the next video again on navigation, which is really the basic, and also in the creation of some objects and in the selection and other basic stuff. So we're gonna stop right now. If you enjoyed the video, you can subscribe to the channel and stay updated. If you want to support us a little bit, you can join the channel as a supporter. Also, this is right-clicking. It's a quad menu, another pop-up menu that we can recall when we need it. But again, we're gonna go back to all of this stuff in the following lesson. You can also write your comments, questions, suggestions, anything that can be helpful to the community, and check our other videos, video guides, and video courses in the channel. Search for the software that you want or the topic that you like, just using the search bar in the channel. So again, this will be all for this first introductory video in 3ds Max. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching and see you in the next lesson.